Howdy everyone. Been doing continued work on this Perses Carrier. It is coming along. This is the original one again, and I was taking a good look at the cargo area or the back hangar area, and then this side section here. Now I blew that out in the other ship, and all these cargo boxes and things like that. I just I use this as reference to know what I'm, kind of changing or doing. So on the new ship, well, before I get into there, I did make a few more modifications to the front feet. I kind of added in a couple roundy blocks to simulate some kind of suspension. So that came along decent. Also, I redid this front door. I had to use this 3 wide ramp due to the fact that it goes down further now, but it again works and lines up with the feet now. And well, actually, when the landing gear are down, this will match the ground just fine. So I'll have to get a sensor and things like that back on this ship. Um, Digging into oh, one other little feature I did, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it yet or not, but I just think it's a good placement for additional guns. Now this ship did not max out the guns by any means, so what I wanted to do is get a couple of these fairly useful flak turrets in a nice position on the ship so they could hit targets below and, well, actually above as well. So I kind of built out these little pieces here to add a couple more guns. So that part's been done. I don't know if the styling is meeting everything else on the ship, or maybe I should make a simpler design for putting this out and not extend it. Maybe just make a bulge or something over here. Um, so that part's coming along. One thing I have been doing is I rebuilt one part of the hangar side crafting area now, and that is over here. And so it overall kind of looks similar to the original. It's using some new blocks, and I think I got it looking a little prettier than what it used to. Has pretty much the same functionality, but it does have a 320K storage bay in here now. Warp tank, these parts along the side. I kind of dressed up this area a little bit. I painted the bottom of the stairways black or dark gray. And I rebuilt these walls back here as well. Now, one thing I did do is I had some extra space in here, and I'm going to need some extra space in the engineering area. So what I took a offline generator and I dumped it here, and on the flip side I put in a gravity generator, which allowed me to eliminate the gravity generator up in this top room that used to be sitting right over here. So let's see here, what else was done? Well, a lot more needs to be done, put it that way. So I have to build up another section over here, and I do these individually because they're offset. Due to the odd shape of the constructors, I can't do this in like symmetry or anything like that. It doesn't work out right. And then I have this debate, do I really want to keep 8 constructors in here like the original had? I'm trying to keep this very true to the original, but 8 might be a little excessive. Maybe I'll put maybe 2 on this side and another storage bin, and then your ammo, and then it needs armor repair, armor lockers, and I'll probably still do the same idea with having an additional cooking station and fridge over on this side. As in the mezzanine deck, it's all kind of screwed up right now. There's a lot of block changes all over the place. But yeah, I'm just kind of starting from the back and moving forward. As in flying the ship around, I realized now that it does need more than one T2 generator. It's going to need a second one of those. As it is flying around, I'm hitting max or I'm hitting 100% power usage if I'm doing like a 3-thruster maneuver. So like I'm pushing forward and sideways and down at the same time. And not to mention, I hear shield generators take a lot of power. So what's kind of neat is because I moved the offline generator out of here, I no longer need to put that back in. And I have plenty of room for these parts. So we got the one T2 generator here. I'm thinking about just lining up like one, maybe move it over a block and put another one in here and leave it like a block row in between and keep the two T2 generators on that side. And on this side, I wanted to throw in a shield generator, and it's also going to need another gravity generator. And then some more fuel tanks. Now, one other thing too, I was freaking out before on the RCS in the stats. I now learned that these are incorrect. The numbers I'm seeing here is not right. In fact, I had this down to 2 RCS, and then I took it out for a test spin, and it flew terribly. I could hardly turn. So I added in quite a few more. I put in another 10 RCS already. And it's showing these stats, but it's not right. I don't even know what it actually is. I just want to make sure it feels decent when you fly it. Not over the top, though. I'm not going, I mean, it's a big ship, and I would not think this thing should be handling like a little SV or something like that. So yeah, my next project, now that I know all the power requirements and everything I'm going to need, is to get this room rebuilt and set up, and probably dump some more fuel into it again and some more O2 tanks. Now a big debate and something I was shooting for when I started this project is to get it to 7500 CPU. I'm already over that, and I realize how limiting it would be versus the original ship if I pursue 7500 CPU. So I've been told heavily that I shouldn't try and just make the ship right and not try to limit it by putting in, removing a lot of functionality for the CPU, as that may not matter whatsoever. So I'm just curious what you guys think. I mean, should it be 7500 CPU? It can be, and I could easily get it to 7500 CPU again by removing these these extra storage boxes. I got 6 on each side. That alone takes it below 7500 again. In the design of this too, I did put in these 16,000 volume cargo boxes below the constructors. It had the same setup originally too, so it's nothing new. I just decided to put in the big ones, and then I actually used the top of those crates as almost like a little walk pad, which I thought kind of blends in and looks pretty nice overall. I'm losing light here. Let me shut that off. But yeah, lots more needs to be done, and it's kind of a slow process going through and trying to make it all pretty and up to date and everything like that. But it is coming along. At least the farm. I don't plan on making hardly any modifications to the farm. Now, due to the redesign of the sides of the ship, I do have a little more room over here, and I've been blowing away some blocks just to see if I can make more usable area. But again, I don't even know what to use it for in the first place, so it's not a big deal. As in cost, the ship is staying fairly inexpensive. It's still, the other one was somewhere in the 21-hour build time. This one's sitting at 18 hours, and well, 18 hours and 40 minutes about. Size class, I'm still under what the original one was, so I'm really watching it though with the blocks and things like that. Part of the reason why it's getting a little bit cheaper is I realized a lot of interior pieces or blocks all over the place. I had a lot of extra combat steel on the inside. Some of it was steel, some of it was combat steel, and I've been replacing a lot of that with carbon substrate when I come across it, redoing areas. So that is keeping the cost down a little bit, and probably the weight down a little bit too. So that's kind of the state of where I'm at. A lot more to do yet. A lounge I don't plan on making heavy modifications to. I'll put the fuel tanks back in over here and probably button that up, and might alter some colors a little bit, but don't really plan on reinventing this. I kind of like this lounge in the first place. If there's something I could figure out, to enhance the looks of it a little bit more, I will, and especially with lighting, that's something else I'm going to have to address, which I have not dug into yet on the ship. But when it's all said and done, it should feel like a new ship. I mean, it really should. It's got the same layout. If you know the Perses original carrier, you'll know this one. You know exactly where everything is, all the walk paths, everything like that. Um, One other thing I'm thinking I'm probably going to do is update the entire hangar floor. I cannot incave it like I did on the Waypoint station, or I'm sorry, Waypoint hangar and the recent Hephaestus hangar due to the repair bay. I don't feel like messing with cutting this down and doing all that. I think I'll just keep this one flat. I know I get some more visuals out of the half drop down floor, but I don't, in this case, I don't think it's a good idea to do. So I'm not going to do that. And well, yeah, that's kind of where it sits. I got a lot of work to do yet. Obviously, it turned into a bigger project than I thought it was going to. But then again, you know, every time I do decide to touch like an older thing, it seems to turn into a bigger project. So I should have known. I really should have known. That's all right though. That's all right. I want this to be nice. I want it to work good, be nice, look nice, have everything it needs. And so yeah, down to the CPU. I guess what are your thoughts on that? Because I'm getting like some people are saying no, you really ought to keep it to CPU and this and that, or maybe just put in places where you can add more stuff. Like I could remove all these cargo boxes and like label it somehow to say, hey, put cargo boxes here if you don't care about CPU. But now these cargo boxes serve a alternative purpose as well, and that is that there's big thrusters right behind here, and this is a hot zone. So if I did not block you from going there, you could walk in there and fry yourself. So I was like, well, that's a great place for the cargo boxes. And I removed the cargo set over here and over here. And my idea behind that is to have two like backup bays that are both the same size going this way, and that would free up room so you could kind of park your vehicles, back them up over here on the side. Now it's not quite as deep as it used to be by, I believe, only one block, maybe two. So really large tanks and things could sit over the edge a little bit, like something like the Basilisk or Gigantes of what I've made would be a little too big for that, but they'd still fit in here. It's just you'd they'd hang over the center line a little bit. So that's about it for now. Lots and lots of work to do. This tutorial, I'm not really doing that work. I just wanted to just do a quick show of where I'm at in this retrofit or refit of this ship. And my next project, I think, is I want to get this engineering area all squared away and finished off with the right parts in it, so I meet the power requirements that I like. And beyond that, it shouldn't be a huge longer time on this. Now, I'm not going to release this until Alpha 10 releases anyway, so there is a fair amount of spare time. On other creations that I've made that I was thinking about for Alpha 10, I was taking a look at the other big CVs, and one the Nemesis battlecruiser, and then the Gigacore. On those ships, yeah, that'd be a lot of work too. The Nemesis is doable. The Gigacore, I fear, because the Gigacore. Here, let me spawn it a second. I'll tell you what my concerns about the Gigacore are. Where are you? Okay. Now the Gigacore, I like this ship, and it was a concept of making like a thruster pod, and I did it at such a way where I could copy and paste this and rotate it so I could make one and have four out of the deal, because these are really complex things. I actually think I spent 2 days building one of these thruster pods up. Problem with the Gigacore though is it's falling. That's that's what the big problem is. It falls to the ground. No, why did it fall? I don't even know. um, is these thruster pods, the whole concept of this ship is very inefficient. It didn't generate usable interior space. It used a lot of parts and blocks and drove the size class up really quick. And as this thing sits, it's crazy. It's with its size class. I remember fighting this thing, and it's almost size class 11. So that scares me a lot. It's not an efficient design, unfortunately, and from that you notice a considerably smaller hangar. Not that it's small or anything, but it is a lot smaller. There's a lot of wasted room inside the ship with the hallways and corridors and things like that. The farm's split up into two separate identical sections on each side. Um, I mean, I like this ship, but for efficient design, it wasn't that. It isn't. Um, Not saying I won't update this for Alpha 10, but I don't even know exactly how to. If I start popping in new storage systems and stuff, I'm gonna shoot the size class just instantly. So yeah, either that or blow away the these thruster pods, and try to come up with a new design with a lot less thrusters. Um, but man, I don't know. I don't know. It sucks too. I really don't know what to do with this ship. So it's not going to be a priority unless I have an epiphany. Yeah, look at that. It's falling again. I don't get it. Well, why did it sit there for a while and then just suddenly fall? It's got fuel. I don't know. I didn't turn it on either. Um, so that's kind of the deal there. But this one is coming along good now. So I think I will do a build tutorial on the engineering area of the ship. I might do that today yet and go through and try to get that all squared away and finished off so I can move on back to the hangar and get the other side built up. I'm just curious on people's thoughts on the CPU. That I don't want to follow it because I know if I do, I'm going to have to take away more functionality. And not to mention, because I added all those RCS, and I probably could stand a few more, and it's going to need another generator, and I got to get ammo in here again. And I would like to get another at least 320K storage bin on the other side. There's absolutely no way I'll make this CPU or 7500 CPU compliant if I keep it with the same functionality of the original. Now, granted, I'm enhancing it a little bit with like a couple extra guns and a shield generator and things like that, but it's gonna be really, really rough. And I would hate to take like an original ship that did all this stuff and then make it worse. You know what I mean? So that's that. Well, anyway, you all have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed this little walkthrough. And the next part will be another build tutorial, kind of like the feet, but this time with the engineering area. All right, see you later.